So done. One down, one to go.
Nice.
Yeah, good for you.
Meredith, you haven't heard from Amy, have you?
I have not. I did see Amy at the I saw her at Charlie's over break. I have not seen her.
Well, Sue just walked in.
I was about to text Sue.
She missed last meeting too, so I'm wondering if she's.
Is that Sue or is that Amy?
Oh, Sue just walked in, but I'm just.
Yes,
Sue wasn't
Sue.
at the last one either.
Sue, yes.
I think I got to email Amy and find out what's up.
Yeah, I would.
Maybe she's not getting the email or something.
Maybe she just doesn't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, Keegan's here from Gina and Sue's here. So why don't we get started so we can get through this, okay?
Okay.
All right, let me start recording. Okay, we should be good to go.
Okay. I'm going to call us to order at 5:34. I don't see any public for public comment. We have minutes from December 9th. I'll take a motion to approve those.
So moved.
I'll second. I just had one thing I wanted to double check on that. I think they look good, but give me 1 second, Meredith. Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that attendance was right. Yeah, so all those in favor of approving the minutes?
Me.
Aye.
Okay.
Minutes approved. And we will go into the budget.
Okay, so I'll turn it over to Sue to walk through the budget with you. We'll talk about any updates. We do have some numbers that we didn't have before. And, you know, as always, it's relatively simple, but turn it over to you.
Okay. Yeah, pretty straightforward. So what I did in this draft, obviously we have the BBA rate that is now included in the draft. And that was 23,050. And you can see that on actual page 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We talked at the last meeting about how many new enrollment to include.
Mm-hmm.
So I have made a recommendation of including 10, sort of like a middle ground for not as many as we've done in the past, you know, not 15, because we are seeing that declining enrollment, but not pulling it out completely. All right, so I've included that amount in the budget, so it's already incorporated into that if you're comfortable with that number.
Mm-hmm.
What you see on the write-up that I gave you is that if we didn't make any changes, in other words, use any surplus to help reduce the taxes, we would be seeing an increase of approximately 9.3 cents on your tax rate. And what we talked about at the last meeting is that you guys would really like to see that tax rate remain stable, if at all possible.
Yes.
And when we did get CLA, your final CLA came in and it's actually even lower than the state estimated. So from the draft that I originally sent in your packet to the updated numbers, which would be on packet page 15. Okay, if we look at that tax rate, that's the updated numbers. I've increased the recommended amount of use of surplus from that 199 to 294. And I've done that to keep that tax rate at the 183.7. So we're keeping it stable. And that does not even use your entire estimated surplus for the year. We still have some more money. We would ask the voters to transfer that to tax, whatever that is at the end of the year, to transfer that to tax stabilization, as we always do. And that keeps your tax rate stable, but you can see your CLA has dropped down to the 51.99.
Was that even possible?
Well, you're not alone in numbers that low, believe it or not, but yeah, it's pretty low.
It's
Need to reassess.
It's approaching the point of absurdity.
Yeah, that is how I feel when I look at, looking at the CMG numbers and looking at our towns across the board and how rapidly they're dropping.
Yeah.
And which just means property values are just continuing to rise quickly, which is just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, when the property values, the problem is they're not homestead property values that are rising quickly. Those are not turning over as much as second home values, and that's part of the fundamental issue is there's no housing, and the people who live here who go to the schools do not have such high property values as the second homeowners.
But the CLA doesn't differentiate, right?
No, I know. It doesn't.
Or-
That's part of the issue. I know.
Totally.
Yeah, no, I agree. We were talking about that before the meeting started. It's like, it doesn't really reflect the reality on the ground, unfortunately.
Not at all. It doesn't reflect the reality at all because the people that live here are not like blowing up their houses and, making them 10,000 square feet. Like there, it's just.
Oh, no, right. It's not the homes themselves, right?
It's right.
It's what, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
the other thing I did want to share with you is if you take a quick look at packet page 5, that just gives you a comparison of what your long-term weighted membership was, your count was last year at 327 to now at 319. And so all things being equal, with the continued decline in enrollment, we would expect that number to continue to drop. And as that number goes down, your tax rate will go up. So that having that tax stabilization fund available for use in future years may be necessary.
Yeah. I mean, and nobody can afford to live here who has small children to send them to school. So there we have it. Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe right now. I don't know. I mean, this is, maybe we should table this till later, but the governor spent his entire speech on education.
Let's get through the budget and then let's head over there.
Mhm.
We'll talk about that.
So do you have anything else to add
No,
to it?
no, just
So
wanted to
do
point
you
those
have
things out.
any questions? So we are, again, we are proposing in this budget, as Sue said, to use surplus to keep the tax rate the same. So you're essentially buying it down to help stabilize it. So we made sure to put that in there for now. So I just want you to be clear about that. And that additional 10 kids, other than that, those are sort of the decision points.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with that, then, we can move forward with approving it.
I'm
or
comfortable
after
with it.
discussion.
The only thing I would say is that I'll have to amend my letter, like my annual report, because I think I said in there, I think I mentioned 5 going from 15 to 5.
We can do that. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's what you guys
Well,
want.
I mean, if we lower it down to 5, how much does that save us?
Well, but the thing is, Meredith, we're not even using all of our surplus now with 10. So like we're transferring surplus to tax stabilization. So
That's what I'm saying. So it's like
going to 5 would just give us more surplus, which we don't really need. So I'm comfortable with 10. I was just saying that I'm just gonna have to edit that. I'll have to resubmit it. I just want to make sure that
Yeah,
I
that's fine.
have to get
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
They don't have this yet, so they're not wrapped up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that what you just said, Dean, is true. That's the important point, is that, this is just a circle. If you raised more money in a budget year and we get the surplus, we just transfer it to stabilization. If you raise less money in a budget year and those kids come and you will go over budget, you have to spend, then you draw money from your stabilization. So it really, it's what the impact to the tax rate is. And I think what would happen is if we drop that number from 10 to 5, we would use less of the surplus because we would still want to keep that tax rate stable. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really change much.
Yeah. I think the only time it would be relevant is if we were in a position where we were either trying to lower the tax rate or knock off a huge, like if we were we were close to penalty or way over, we had a really
Yes.
bad year.
Close to penalty is where you would.
That's when we
wor-
want to
worry
drop
about
from 10
budget.
to 5.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm Meredith, I'm comfortable staying at 10. I don't think we're gonna really gain anything by dropping to 5, but I just wanted to state that for the record.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to amend that, which is not a problem, but I want to make sure I put it on record so I remember to do it.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Okay. A motion to approve the budget as presented.
So moved.
Second. We sort of just had our discussion.
Mhm.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Okay.
thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Sue.
Okay.
Thanks, Sue.
Yep. So next is the warning. So this is what will go in front of the voters at the beginning of March, on March 3rd. We've got one board seat open, and we're hoping Amy plans on applying, but Dean, I think getting herself on the ballot.
Yeah, I'll shoot an email out to her.
Okay.
And
Do you think she just doesn't know?
I think there's something going on. She's getting CC'd on all the emails, but
Maybe she hasn't logged into her BRSU.
yeah, well, I'll find
Okay,
out.
we'll look into it.
I've got an email chain going with her.
Okay.
Get her on the VSBA stuff, so I can just shoot her an email and just touch base.
Okay, so looking at the warning, you've got that open seat, electing a moderator, borrowing money. This is all typical. Article 4 is the budget. Yep. And per pupil spending. Okay. And then Article 5 is that BBA rate of $23,050, which is a 4.9% increase over last year. We didn't include that here, but transferring money into the bus reserve. Bus prices are going up. Your bus reserve is not huge, as we talked about before. You will need a bus, so we want to make sure that you've got money in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then transferring surplus into the tax stabilization, we're estimating it to be $57,494, but whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Transferring 50 from the general to the bus, and then appropriating another 35,000 into the bus reserve for all the things we talked about before.
So it's a total of 85.
Correct. Yeah.
50 from general, and is the other 35 coming from surplus or tax stabilization?
That'll come from the appropriation for next year's
Yeah.
budget.
Oh, I got you.
Just
Okay.
keep
Yep.
that stable
Yep.
from year to year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. There's nothing unusual about it.
Pretty standard.
Okay.
We're not changing anything, so we don't have to worry about Article 4.
Correct.
We don't have to move anything from the floor this year.
Right.
Okay. All right. Motion to approve the warning.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Terrific. Thank you.
Warning is approved.
And then this is really Dean. It's under here under my report, but it's really Dean, the report that Dean drafted. So I'll turn it over for you and Meredith to look at it. I know I heard that we need to change. I see those students to, we'll update that to 10.
Yeah. I only mentioned it once, so. Yeah, I kind of deliberately kept it short. I don't think that this is a year where we as a Winhall board have a whole lot to talk about. And I feel like it's important to at least mention what's going on at the state level, that we're involved and paying attention. And then I just kind of sort of summarized, our last couple budget meetings. And then obviously I wanted to thank Jen and Amy. So, Meredith, it's kind of short compared to what we historically put in there. So
I think it's fine, Dean.
okay. Yeah.
I think it's
missing.
really fine. Just length, it doesn't, not everything needs to be it's so long.
Okay. Perfect. So if you're good with it, do we need a motion to approve it?
It says approved, so
Yeah,
you
let's do
can.
it. Okay.
It's not, you don't technically need it, but I think it's reasonable since we put it on there to do it.
So a motion to approve the Winhall School Board report with the amended language changing from 5 to 10.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So next you got a report from me. we, as you know, Taconic and Green is closing schools, reconfiguring. So there's information in here tied really very more specifically for them, but informative for you. I think to Dean's point, I know we're going to transition into the legislative and VSB updates. So I won't really say anything about that, but I know he mentioned it in his report. I mentioned it in my report here that we're continuing. We have been and will continue to stay very, very on top of what's going on in the legislature and advocate for our community and our needs, and be invested in helping support the state in moving forward with a really hopefully stronger, more effective governance and funding structure for education in the state. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Okay. You have the work plan in here, which doesn't have much left because we're almost at March, but you want to turn it over to legislative and VSB update?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go back to what I was saying before, because I think it's relevant. In this moment, the governor gave his state of the state speech, and he spent the entire thing talking about education, which and also, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff on Vermont Public, like legislators are getting out there. And to me, the big message, like the takeaway, is that this isn't going to be another situation where they come in with a lot of big ideas, the legislature whittles it down to nothing, and then we get a half-assed bill that doesn't really have any accountability or follow through. It seems like they're going to push forward with Act 73 as hard as they can. The governor is putting everything behind it, and the Senate pro tem is putting everything behind it. So I think the people who were hoping that they could dig their heels in and resist any changes at all are going to be disappointed. So to me, it seems like something is happening, which makes me a little nervous, because right now the legislature has an incredible amount of work to do. And if they get even one thing wrong, and they just bullheadedly push forward with it because that's, what they're expected to do, we could be in for some turbulence. So I'm optimistic because I feel like we're actually going to get something meaningful. I'm just a little nervous because a lot of these puzzle pieces have to be exactly the right shape in order for what goes forward to be workable. And there's a lot of opportunities to fall into a trap if we're not careful. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but to me, like the message of the moment, like today specifically, like it's kind of odd that we're meeting today because it really sort of all came to a head today. This is happening. Like I think that Bill Scott's willing to die on this hill. So we should be prepared for some hard work because we're going to have to do it.
Thanks, Dean.
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah.
I really don't think you're wrong.
And I guess I would just add to that I feel like the fact that we have been so willing to engage with this process in the BRSU has really lined us up to be in a really great position going forward, because there were so many organizations and groups of interests that were just digging their heels in, saying we don't want any change, don't change anything, leave it the way it is, you're going to mess it up. And we've been really positive about the fact that we do need some kind of change. And by engaging with the process, we put ourselves in a position where we're one of the few institutions that has any real credibility going forward, because we haven't been tearing things down. We've been trying to build things up. So we have people all across the state looking at us for leadership. And I think that puts us in a great position to actually influence where we shake out on this. So I'm very happy that we did that work early and continue to do it throughout the process, because I think it's about to pay dividends.
So we'll remain involved. It is going to be very, very interesting. So stay tuned. And I think, I think that, I guess the last thing I'll just add to what Dean said is when I think about Winhall specifically, it's the conversations are at two levels, right? What is this needs to happen at the state, and how do we advocate to preserve what Winhall values and the structure they've got, and hopefully find a path forward that accomplishes both of those things.
Yeah. Definitely. We're definitely in a tough spot in Winhall because, if the focus becomes just get a map, which it really sounds like that's kind of where the legislature is like, well, the task force was supposed to give us maps and they didn't, so now we have to spend the first part of the legislative session doing our own maps. We have to make sure that we keep chanting and raising awareness that, like, we want whatever map we have, it really needs to work for us. And we're like, no one in the mountain towns wants to send their kids to Brattleboro. That's just not going to work. Same thing for, maintaining access to independent schools. That's not something that's on everyone's radar. But it is something that's very important to us. So we just need to make sure that we keep our voices out there, that we hope and expect that whatever solution they come up with is going to include us.
Yeah.
Now is going to be a really tricky time. So
yeah,
now is when we have to be paying attention, like day to day, right? Stuff's going to start happening very quickly. Real decisions are going to be made, probably hastily, because everyone is trying to make decisions so that they can get to the point where they can make more decisions. And so much of what they want to do is tied up in early foundational decisions that have to be made now. So I'm concerned that, there's going to be a rush we just have to decide this so we can move forward. So we just have to make sure that we're getting our voices out there, that, if something is about to get decided on that doesn't work for us, we need to make sure we get that out to people right away.
Right.
Because we're going to have like hours or days to influence people's decisions. We're not going to have months. We're going to have very short time windows to make sure that we're getting heard. So I would just say we have to pay attention and we have to be loud.
Okay.
And that's where we're at. Agenda items for,
I don't think we have anything to add.
I was gonna say, there's really nothing for us for VSBA right now. Agenda items for next meeting.
I put a paper.
I was gonna say, I think I saw something. That's the work plan.
It's in there somewhere.
I'll find it.
That's okay. You just need to sign it out.
Okay, so I don't need to do it right now.
Nope.
Okay.
We can do it right when we done.
Okay, there's still no public, so no public comment. And our next meeting is February 17th, which I think is a Tuesday, right?
Yes.
And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, all in favor? All right,
Okay. 5:56.
thank you.
Okay.